Welcome back to the State Pension Update. Across the United Kingdom, a significant new enforcement rule is coming into effect, and it's already catching thousands of ordinary citizens completely off guard. Starting this Sunday, local councils across England, Scotland, and Wales will begin actively enforcing public spaces protection orders, or PSPOs, with on-the-spot fines that can reach up to £1,000 for those who break the new restrictions. These are not minor rules. Under the latest government guidance, PSPOs now cover a much wider range of everyday activities, from smoking in certain parks to feeding pigeons, walking dogs off lead, and even leaving your car engine idling in restricted zones. Officials argue that the purpose of these measures is to create safer, cleaner, and more responsible public spaces, but critics are warning that the rollout is chaotic, confusing, and in many cases deeply unfair, especially for pensioners, families, and disabled citizens who may not even be aware that these rules exist. So, what exactly is happening this Sunday? Where are these fines being enforced, and how can you protect yourself from unintentionally breaking the law? Let's take a closer look at the full story behind this urgent PSPO crackdown. A Public Spaces Protection Order, or PSPO, is a legal tool introduced under the Anti-Social Behavior, Crime, and Policing Act of 2014. It allows local councils to prohibit or restrict specific behaviors in designated public areas such as parks, streets, beaches, and town centers. Originally, PSPOs were designed to target antisocial activities such as public drinking or aggressive begging, but in 2025, local authorities have been granted expanded powers to include a much broader list of offenses, many of which now affect ordinary, law-abiding citizens. Typical PSPO restrictions include prohibitions on smoking or vaping in children's play areas or near schools, mandatory dog leads in public spaces, and fines for littering, spitting, or feeding birds in restricted areas. Car idling bans near hospitals, schools, or busy high streets have also been added to the list. Under the latest amendments, fines can now reach up to £1,000, doubling the previous penalty limit of £500. Why are these rules being enforced now? According to the Home Office and the Local Government Association, these new PSPO powers are part of a nationwide campaign to combat rising complaints about public nuisance and environmental concerns. In recent years, councils have reported a 37% increase in antisocial behavior linked to street drinking, a 42% increase in illegal waste dumping, and growing complaints from residents about dog fouling, car noise, and smoking near playgrounds. To address this, councils are tightening PSPO boundaries, increasing enforcement patrols, and instructing local wardens and police community officers to issue on-the-spot fixed penalty notices starting this Sunday. However, critics argue that these measures are being applied inconsistently across regions, with many residents completely unaware of the rules in their own neighborhoods. The new 2025 PSPO expansion covers a surprisingly long list of behaviors, some of which may seem overly strict or confusing. Many common offenses now carry fines ranging from £100 to £1,000. These include smoking or vaping in designated smoke-free parks or bus stops, allowing dogs off lead or failing to clean up after them, drinking alcohol in prohibited public spaces, littering, even biodegradable items, and feeding pigeons or seagulls in city centers. Other offenses include leaving your vehicle idling near schools, hospitals, or residential areas, playing loud music, or engaging in public disturbances. In some councils, even cycling through pedestrian areas or skateboarding in car parks can result in an instant fine issued through handheld enforcement devices. Enforcement of these £1,000 fines is not limited to police officers. Private enforcement companies contracted by councils are also issuing fixed penalty notices on the spot. These agents have the authority to collect personal details and send fines by post if individuals refuse to cooperate. Concerns have been raised about a lack of oversight, as private officers are often paid per ticket, and reports suggest that body cameras and facial recognition software recognition technology are being used to record alleged offenses. Critics have highlighted aggressive enforcement tactics, particularly against vulnerable groups such as pensioners, families, and disabled citizens who may be pressured to pay fines immediately without fully understanding their right to appeal. Not every council is enforcing the same PSPO rules, which adds to the confusion. London boroughs such as Bexley, Camden, and Westminster are expanding bans on smoking and street drinking, while Birmingham and Manchester are introducing new dog control zones and car idling fines. Liverpool and Leeds are extending alcohol bans to parks and waterfront areas, and Cardiff and Swansea are targeting noise and antisocial driving. In Scotland, Edinburgh and Glasgow are cracking down on citywide littering and smoking. Each local authority sets its own specific restrictions, meaning what is legal in one town could earn you a fine in the next, often without clear signage. Pensioners and families are among the most at-risk groups. Many retirees have expressed frustration that these rules are being implemented without proper notice or public consultation. Simple activities, such as feeding birds at the park, which have been part of daily routines for years, could now trigger immediate fines under new wildlife disturbance PSPO clauses. Families are also at risk, with parents smoking near playgrounds or dog owners unaware of new leash zones potentially facing instant penalties ranging from £100 to £500. Key risk groups include pensioners unaware of rule changes, families in public parks or school areas, and dog owners in newly restricted zones. This lack of transparency has raised serious questions about fairness and proportionality. Local councils argue that these fines are essential tools for maintaining public order and cleanliness, citing rising complaints and falling budgets as reasons to empower enforcement teams. However, residents and campaigners see things differently, arguing that PSPOs have evolved into stealth revenue streams targeting ordinary citizens rather than addressing deeper social problems. Protests have already erupted in Manchester after pensioners were fined for feeding ducks, and petitions in Cardiff and Glasgow are demanding a review of PSPO rules. Calls are growing for nationwide audits to ensure proper signage and public awareness, sparking debates about whether PSPOs are truly protecting communities or simply policing them. If you receive a PSPO fine, it's important to know that you have legal rights to challenge it. Each fixed penalty notice includes instructions on how to pay or appeal, but the process can be confusing. Do not pay immediately if you believe the fine is unfair. Request evidence, including the officer's ID and any footage from body cameras, and contact your local council within 14 days to appeal formally. Provide context such as medical conditions, lack of signage, or confusion about zones, and escalate to the local government ombudsman if your appeal is ignored. Legal experts stress that once you pay, you effectively admit guilt, so it is crucial to ensure the fine is justified before paying. To avoid fines, prevention through awareness is key. Every local authority is required by law to publish PSPOs online, often accompanied by maps of affected areas. Practical steps include visiting your local council's official website to search for PSPO maps, using the gov.uk council finder to locate local rules, and looking for small signs or pavement markings in public areas. Many PSPOs expire after 3 years, but can be renewed quietly, and ignorance of the rules is not a valid defense. Always check before traveling to new towns or cities. Starting this Sunday, the PSPO era will officially begin. Whether you are walking your dog, sitting in a park, or waiting in your car, these rules will affect millions of people across the UK. It is not about fear, it is about awareness. By understanding these changes and sharing this information, you can help ensure that friends, family, and your wider community stay informed and avoid unnecessary fines. Fines can now reach £1,000 for seemingly simple mistakes. Enforcement starts this Sunday, and private enforcement officers will be active nationwide. The introduction of these high-value PSPO fines marks a major shift in how public behavior is regulated in the UK. While the government's aim is to promote safer and cleaner spaces, the real-world impact could be confusion, frustration, and financial strain, particularly for older citizens and families unaware of the changes. Public awareness remains the best protection. Knowing what is banned in your area and sharing that knowledge with others will prevent unnecessary fines and help keep communities informed. If you found this update helpful, make sure to subscribe to State Pension Update for crucial information on DWP, HMRC, and UK government rule changes.